Hello and welcome back to another WRWC live stream Wednesday. It's not Wednesday though, it's Friday. I'm in the habit of saying Wednesday. Woo, we have had a crazy week. We've actually had this whole pandemic has just made life crazy. And so I'm excited. We have Bobby Mote, president of the WCRA with us today. Welcome, Bobby.
Thank you.
And Sammy Jo Smith, associate vice president of athlete initiatives. Welcome, Sammy Jo.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, Sammy Jo, you've been fielding some emails and phone calls, no doubt. And so we're just going to get right into it. Can you guys hear me okay? I just plugged this thing in. Okay.
Yep.
We're going to hear from Bobby at the top. Sammy Jo is also, and we might tag team this a little bit, going to talk to us about the overall summary of the big surprise relocation that was announced yesterday, late yesterday, dates, locations, format. We're going to talk about some extensions of deadlines. I'm looking over here because I have a screen over here, and Bobby's going to talk about what we feel like are, although we're sad about the move, but some real positives with this change and what a group effort it has been. And so before I take any more air up, Bobby, why don't you give us your perspective on this announcement and give us the details of it, and you can officially bring the good news.
Well, so we were originally scheduled to take place alongside the Pbr World Finals, who for like 25 years have been in Las Vegas, and our eventual home will be the South Point, which is a spectacular equine facility. But this year, COVID in Nevada and the city of Las Vegas have been a challenge to work with. I mean, they've had their hands full with COVID. And so because of that, we hung in there as long as we could, holding out that we would like to stay in the place that we originally scheduled and planned to stay. But you know, as it is, time was ticking away. And so we worked through the details. This, have been for a while, but finished them up this week with PBR. And PBR is going to take place November 13th through the 15th. The PBR World Finals, November 13th through the 15th at AT&T Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys play. We haven't changed our format, and we have moved our dates 1 week later. And so we're going to start November 8th, and we're going to go from November 8th to November 12th at Will Rogers Coliseum at Will Rogers Memorial Center there in Fort Worth, Texas, which is played host to more big time equine events than I think anybody could count. And so it's a great facility. And then what's really exciting out of that is the winners from the second round of competition in the main event, the top 6, are going to get a chance to be featured during the performances at the PBR World Finals at AT&T Stadium. And so we'll touch more on that later, but that's really the big news. I mean, what a time to be a cowgirl. And that week, things line up spectacularly because the American Paint Horse Association is launching a new initiative that they have called the Cowgirl Gathering, and that's going to be at Stockyards, and that's going to be the 12th through the 5th, or 13th, 14th, and 15th of November. And so that's all centered around cowgirls. And so they have guest speakers from the industry, and they have a huge all-girl team roping on Friday, and then a breakaway roping, which happens to be the first fast-track qualifier for the 2021 season for WCRA Women's Rodeo World Championship. And then Sunday barrel racing, they're adding like $50,000 over there. So to say that cowgirls coming to Texas that week have a lot of opportunities would be an understatement.
Fantastic. Thanks, Bobby. I wanted to pull up, if you guys haven't, and this is a little bit off script, Sammy Jo, so, but if y'all haven't been to our website and seen the release, here it is. And that's where 6 ladies, 6 in the breakaway, 6 in the barrel race, and 6 teams six headers, six heelers are going to be competing at AT&T Stadium. And no doubt some of the ladies have competed there at another big rodeo that they have there. But if you haven't had a chance, what a great opportunity. And we're going to be awarding $60,000 checks, and there's going to be a $20,000 all-around champ. And it's just going to be super duper exciting. So Sammy Jo, do you want to walk us through some of the things that are on your plate?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, what a great opportunity. I'm so thankful that this event remained alongside the Pbr World Finals. Yes, it's unfortunate we won't be in Vegas, but it's also very exciting, right, that we're going to be in Texas, and I cannot wait to feel the atmosphere of those Pbr World Final performances and seeing the first world champions be crowned, right, in front of 30 to 50,000 people that could be in those stands. So it's very exciting. But with these announcements, as Bobby mentioned, the dates went from November 3rd through the 7th. They are now November 8th through the 15th is the full schedule. But with extending back a week, we also have now extended the nomination deadline and the deadline to enter the Open to the World. And so I just want to take a minute and announce what those dates are. First of all, we do understand that maybe some of you that were planning to compete at the first ever Women's Rodeo World Championship in Las Vegas because of schedule conflicts or your work or whatever it may be, if you're not able to attend, just know that we do understand that. Everybody has until October 2nd at 5 p.m. Central Time to email our team at support@wcrarodeo.com, and you can request for your nomination fees back. And then for anybody that's entered the Open to the World pools, you do have the option to draw out up until the entry close on October 25th. But that being said, now that we are in Texas, we're around all these events, we hope that majority of you are planning to be there. And so to get into the Women's Rodeo World Championship, you now can continue nominating and earning points to be on the leaderboard up until October 18th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. It was October 11th. Now it's a week later, October 18th. And then for the entry deadline, you can enter the Open to the World pool, which is $750, up until October 25th at 11:59 Central Time. So those are our new deadlines. You can go to Women's Rodeo World Championship to review those as well, or contact our team. And then just another reminder, for those of you that do get into the top 64 of the leaderboard, you will enter the event October 27th through the 29th. And we will reach out to everyone directly that does get into the top 64, reminding you of those entry dates. But yeah, a lot of exciting dates coming. It's getting closer and closer, which we're looking forward to seeing you all. And again, if you have questions, just pop them in the comments.
Fantastic. I know that people are asking about buying tickets, and I'm assuming that those, if those tickets are on sale, they would be through the PBR. Bobby, do you have any insight on that for the World Finals, where the ladies will run the 6?
No, so I'll just say this. So PBR is in the same boat as we are, in that they had to just pick up and shift. And so I would expect that there's going to be a little bit of a delay in some details coming out, but I look for this next week to be full of details and releases. And so some of these questions that we may not have answers to, it's not for any other reason other than mammoth events, and they're just literally picking up and moving. And so I mean, I think we would be foolish to say that we have all the answers today, but we've done a lot of groundwork since we've known that we were going to move to this date, and this next week is going to be busy for the PBR office and busy for our offices. But at the same time, I would look for clarity on some of those questions this coming week.
Thanks, Bobby. Awesome.
Yeah, and I think in that same vein too, I just want to mention to everybody that through all these past Facebook Lives, we've gone into deep detail on what the format of the event is, and just know that the format itself is not changing, right? Just where it is, and it's a week later. But getting into the leaderboard pool as of now, October 18th, will put you into that pool of competition, and then entering the open. You can do that now up until October 25th. And but yeah, the format itself is not changing.
And I think that, is it safe to say, either one of you hit me virtually if it's not, but is it safe to say that the PBR, we and the PBR are going to feature a single discipline in Arlington with their performances at a time? The order might change a bit, but we have a tentative schedule on the site. Is that true, or is it still a fluid thing right now?
No, that's the case. And so the plan is just to refresh anybody that doesn't know the format of the main event. Once they advance from the qualifying round, we're going to start with 24. And on Thursday, we're going to, and we'll come back to this schedule, but on Thursday the 12th, we're going to have round 1 and round 2 of the main event. So 24 will compete in another performance on Thursday the 12th. 12 will compete. And out of those 12, the top 6 will go, and this is the round that determines who gets the $60,000 check in the Women's Rodeo World Championship. That will happen and be featured during the Pbr World Finals performances, either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And the plan is to focus on one discipline per performance. And so one day we'll do barrel racing, one day we'll do team roping, one day we'll do breakaway roping. And so that's the plan. And we have a pretty good idea which day which is going to occur. But we're also mindful that there's a lot of events going on that week. And so we're doing our best to try to work around those. And so that's another area that I expect to have clarity midweek or during this coming week. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they're going to get that type of exposure is significant, because what a lot of people don't realize is that the PBR's demographic is not the same demographic as rodeo. They're a completely different group of people. So PBR fans and rodeo fans, while there is some crossover, largely they're not the same person. And so for the chance to expand women's professional rodeo and the sport, to get in front of a whole nother demographic of people, a whole different group of people, and of that demographic, half of them or more are ladies. And so this will appeal to them. And I think that, CBS Sports Network broadcast, that platform, and AT&T Stadium, all of those things, really are significant wins for the sport. And I'm excited to see which 6 are going to be there and hand them those $60,000 checks.
Absolutely. And I'm, so excited. The reality was Ride Pass is a fantastic streaming service. A lot of you watching this are probably subscribers to Ride Pass, and Ride Pass is going to continue to carry our early rounds of competition at Will Rogers. And they were going to feature all the way through early rounds and then the main event at South Point. But because, ladies, you're going to get to go, the top 6 in each discipline are going to get to go to AT&T Stadium, you're going to have an opportunity to be on CBS Sports Network in the big house where the Cowboys play. I mean, it's honestly, Bobby, you said it the other day, I hope I can share it, but sometimes you get kicked in the butt with a golden horseshoe, and this is one of these opportunities, right, for the Cowgirls.
It is. I'm glad that it's working out this way, and I just think that we've got really big plans for this event. And this is the first year, but nobody's ever done anything like this for women's professional rodeo. And I think that the incentive that this will create for more and more ladies to get in there, and take this, being rodeo athletes serious and go at it from another angle like this will allow, is just going to be great for the sport. And we're going to see more participation from a broader group of people. And we've got plans down the road and ways that we can include even more different levels of competitors. And so I think it's exciting, and all, you know, when you wrap it all up, it's just, like I said earlier, it's a great time to be a cowgirl.
Absolutely. One of the things that might be a question if you're planning on coming and competing is you've got questions about hotel reservations and stalls. We're not going to know anything really definitively about stalls. We think the pricing is going to be very similar. You're still going to be able to go to openstalls.com to reserve your stalls, but we're actually having a site visit on Monday at 10 a.m. in Fort Worth to go through the facility and nail down some of the particulars on the stalling. Sammy Joe, I know that you have had some questions about hotels, in particular hotel reservations in Las Vegas. Do you have an update on that, where that stands?
Yeah, I think for anybody that has reserved either stalls or hotels for Vegas specifically, if you reserved your stalls, just hang tight, be patient with us. We're going to get the details and we'll be in touch as to, you know, pretty much our goal will be to transfer your stall reservations from Vegas to Texas. Regarding hotels, if you booked the gold package, again, our team will be in touch with you regarding those stall and hotel reservations. And if you're from Texas, you don't need those hotels anymore. Of course, we will work with you to update that reservation, where, you know, you may not need the hotel room anymore. But for anybody that worked directly with a hotel to reserve your stall and did not go through WCRA, or excuse me, your hotel, did not work directly with us to reserve that through our gold package, just know that you need to work directly with the hotels to cancel those reservations. So, but yeah, anything that was reserved stall wise or hotel wise with us through entrytool.com, we of course will work with you to hopefully just transfer those reservations into Texas. But yeah, more details to come on that next week.
Do you want to take 3 minutes really quick and just go through the current schedule, the tentative schedule that we have for the events at Will Rogers? Sammy Joe, do you want me to pull that up on my screen?
Yeah, or I can share it too, whatever's easier. Go ahead, you pull it up, JD, if you have it.
Okay, let me see here. Da, 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 da.
And again, just as we're working through this schedule, know that this is tentative, especially because we won't know for sure the timing of the event until entries close on October 25th. But to try to give you guys somewhat of an idea of how things will run, starting on Sunday, November 8th, we will kick it off that evening, likely with the barrel racing fast track round. Then, and all of these qualifying rounds will be located at the Will Rogers Memorial Center in Fort Worth. Sorry, Bobby, were you saying something?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
It was probably me. I moved my mic. Tell them, you know, it's going to be a quick round of barrel racing on Sunday the 8th, correct? Because it's just 16 ladies in the fast track.
Exactly. And it depends on how many become eligible for the fast track. That will determine how many run that night, but up to 16 girls will be running that evening. So yeah, very, very quick round. Those of you that are in the fast track already qualified in the barrel racing, definitely mark Sunday, November 8th down on your calendar. And then for everybody else, then Monday, November 9th, we'll kick off the barrel racing WCRA leaderboard pool round 1 and the open pool qualifying round 1. And then in the team roping, we'll do the fast track round and the leaderboard pool rounds 1 and 2 and the Elite 18 round. So pretty much everything on that leaderboard side of the progression will happen that Monday the 9th. Then on Tuesday the 10th, we'll go into round 2 for the leaderboard pool and the open pool in the barrel racing. And then on the team roping, we'll finish it out with the open pools round 1 and 2, the redemption round, and the progressive round. And then moving into Wednesday, November 11th, the barrel racing Elite 18 round, redemption round, and progressive round will then wrap up those qualifying rounds of the barrel racing. And then the breakaway roping will kick off and do the fast track round, which again is that up to 16 girls, the leaderboard pool round 1 and 2, Elite 18, and open pools round 1 and 2.
So just to note, depending upon how our numbers end up in the open pool side of competition, the big chunk of all breakaway roping is slated tentatively for Wednesday, November 11th. Is that true?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So breakaway ropers, Wednesday, November 11th, pretty much all day you're going to want to plan at being at Will Rogers. And then going into Thursday, the 12th, we'll wrap up the breakaway roping qualifying rounds with the redemption round and the progressive round. And then for Thursday, November 12th, all disciplines, so barrels, breakaway, and team roping, the main event, round 1, which is 24 athletes, and round 2, which is 12 athletes, will all compete on that Thursday, the 12th.
And tentatively, it's going to be at 11 and 1 or noon and 2, or there's going to be a little bit of break tentatively between those two performances. Is that true?
Right. Yeah, definitely more details to come as we finalize all those entry deadlines or the entries and know what our totals are. But yeah, I think that's a safe assumption, JD.
Great.
And then wrapping it up, like we talked about, then in AT&T Stadium each night at the PBR World Finals performances, we will title the champions of breakaway, barrels, and team roping. So very exciting. Again, if you have questions about this, don't hesitate to reach out to our team.
Fantastic. You covered the dates of the extensions. We covered the stalling. And maybe it would be good if I just walk through the website really quick where if you are sharing this with somebody. So if you go to our homepage, WCRArodeo.com, and you basically click on events, go down here to segment W20, more information, Women's Rodeo World Championship, Fort Worth and Arlington. And if you just scroll down here, there's all kinds of information, and it's just a drop down. And this has updated information in it.
Yeah, and I will throw in there, for those of you that may visit the WCRArodeo.com site frequently, make sure you refresh your browser when you open this page. If you don't refresh it, you will see that old information. So just be sure to refresh your browser to see all the updated information.
Right. So entry dates, you can see that this was pushed back to October 25th.
Yep.
And nomination dates was pushed back. This actually isn't accurate because it's the 18th, correct?
The 18th, yeah.
So let me refresh mine because I don't think that I have old in there. But yes, this is so fluid that you just, if there's any questions at all, I know that this is correct because I know I just looked at this. And so anyway, right here on this page, you go to events and then you click on the Women's Rodeo World Championships and give us just a little bit of time. We're updating, making sure some of this information is in multiple places, but that's going to be your portal. And then like Sammy Jo said, if you don't have, if you're not able to find the information that you need, be sure to reach out on the support options at the bottom of the screen that's scrolling across there right now. And do we have any questions in the chat that we look like we haven't really answered? Marcus has a good question. Are the stalls still complimentary for the same people as they were going to be at South Point? And the answer is
yes. So all the benefits and formats and everything, none of that's changed. Just, some of the some of the smaller details related to scheduling and things like that. And so that's more what we're relating to, we're referring to that's changing. But other than that, other than extending the nomination window and the entry window for a week, because we're a week later, nothing else has really changed. And so, and we do have some upcoming events. And so, what's great about, one of the things that's great about qualifying through the WCRA leaderboard, just to keep in mind, anybody, if you don't know, there's two basic paths in which you can qualify. One, through the WCRA leaderboard, which is earning points and using the VRQ, the virtual rodeo qualifier, to do so, or just an open entry, open to the world. And you can do one or the other, or you can do both. It's up to you. But the goal is to make it to the main event. Once you make it to the main event, that's where the bigger money is paid out, the bulk of that $750,000, and you advance to the eventuality. Hopefully, you're going to win $60,000, and plus everything you want along the way. And so, we get this question a lot right now: is it too late to earn points? And it's not. And in fact, there's some really great point earning opportunities coming up. And so, Sammy Joe, do you want to go over those and explain kind of when and where?
Yeah. So first, I'll open up. We'll talk about the expanded points. So the first event right here is the Breakaway roping at Chris Neal's Oklahoma's Richest event. And so on Friday, October 16th, starting at 8 a.m. will be that Challenger Ladies Breakaway roping. All of these entries remain open, JD, right, till September 30th?
That's correct. Yep.
And so you can go to entrytool.com to enter if you have not already. And the expanded points will be awarded up to those 20 positions. So a lot of points up for grabs at this event in that Challenger Breakaway. And then also on Saturday, October 17th at 8 a.m. in the Open Ladies Breakaway as well. So, I mean, $10,000 added in the Opens Ladies Breakaway. Definitely want to be at this event. And Chris Neal is a great partner of ours. Really, this entire event's going to be fantastic. JD, you want to touch on anything more about it?
Well, if you need more information, I was going to just pull up Chris's screen, his website that you referenced. And you can go here. It is risingstarsevents.org/OK Richest. And I can highlight that right there if you can see it. But he's got good information about it. $10,000 added in the Open Ladies Breakaway. That's a fast track eligible. So the winner there gets a spot in the fast track. The WCRA Challenger Breakaway Roping, that is the first thing that first morning. It's a fast track eligible roping as well. All of his ropings for the ladies have expanded points available to them. And so for those of you who competed at Billy Brazier Open in Rapid City and earned some expanded points up there, there's a great opportunity to get you a spot on the leaderboard right there at Oklahoma's Richest Roping. And again, as Sammy Joe pointed out, entrytool.com, which is right there on Chris's site. Go there, and I might even just walk you through right here.
And with the registration, I want to just say, if you have a login to nominate, which is when you go to app.wcrarodeo.com and log in. Just
to the VRQ, right?
Right, in the VRQ, exactly. Mm-hmm. Your login for entrytool.com is the exact same. So you don't need to re-register. If you're a VRQ user, just use that same email and password to log into entrytool.com.
Right. And you'll see right there, same email address, same password that I used to get into entrytool.com. And so here's where you would go. Same spot, entrytool.com. Sign in or register if you're not already. And let me make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see it. And I'll just show you the events that are open in there right now. WRWC, Open to the World Pool. Okay. And then this is the Challenger Pool that we've talked about in previous Facebook Lives. Here's the gold package that this is going to be updated a little bit. So I would hold off on that just a second. This is the rope for the roses. This is another opportunity. Do you have that flyer brought up, or do you want to talk about the team open
let's
first?
talk about the fall championships first to highlight our expanded point events.
Sure.
So in
Can
the
you make that
breakaway
a little bigger, Sammy Jo? Command plus.
There we go. So yeah, we talked about in the breakaway roping at Oklahoma's Richest for both the Challenger and the Open. And then for the team ropers at the Fall Championships, October 9th through the 11th in Decatur, will be 2 ropings as well. The Open to the World, which will happen on Friday, October 9th. And then the Challenger roping, which is the 9.5 handicap, capped at a number 5 header and heeler. And so both of these entries are also open until October 2nd at entrytool.com. Your nomination is included in your entry fee, and $1,000 added in these ropings as well. And those expanded points will be awarded, as well as that fast track qualification into that fast track pool. So both great events. Definitely, if it's not already on your calendar, mark it down and plan to be there.
Fantastic.
Well, and if I could add, this is significant because, like, here's an example. So my daughter, she's a team roper. She's a number 3 right now. Ropes pretty good, and didn't know that she wanted to ante up quite enough to go haul her head horse to Las Vegas and try to rope there. But now that it's moved to Texas, her eyebrows raised, and she's like, you know what, I've been roping pretty good, and I think that I would like to have a chance at that money, qualify through the Challenger round and maybe through the leaderboard round. And so this particular event right here, you could come, in her case, right, position she's in, with no leaderboard points in the team roping. You could go there and enter with or without a partner. You can draw a partner, and then you could earn whatever money that you can win there, 1,000 added roping. So it's a good roping on its own merits. And then the points, expand points that are available, you'll earn points in the first couple of rounds and the average. And so, she has an opportunity to come from nowhere to be right in the heart of the leaderboard and end up going to Fort Worth with no entry fees due to her and have a chance to compete for this kind of money. And so it's really a neat opportunity. And so I can't stress enough that these expanded points, these fast track qualifiers, the significance of them, you can earn a lot of points at them. Even if you don't win money, you can still earn significant points. And the fast track qualification is significant because you get to compete against only 15 other athletes in 1 round, 2 rounds, have a chance to advance right to the main event. So it's aptly named fast track because it gives you a chance to bypass all of the other qualifying rounds, compete for good money, and have your name down in the main event. And so great opportunities right here. Again, if you're in South Dakota or Florida or somewhere else and you can't make it to this specific event, it's still not too late to go to some team ropings or barrel racings or breakaways and nominate using the BRQ and earn points and get on the leaderboard, as well as you can hedge your bets and get an open entry as well. So as I mentioned before, the name of the game is making it to the main event.
Thanks, Bobby. Do you want to talk about another roping that's coming up?
So those are the 2 expanded points, but then we do also have our remaining nominate when you're in events, and one that is actually an enter. So the Rope for the Roses, which is October 18th in Alva, Oklahoma, is the open breakaway roping, $10,000 added. You can also go to entrytool.com and enter this event. Your entry includes that nomination and is also that fast track qualifier as well. So entries close October 11th for this event. It's a 4-head, $500 entry fee. And just know, for some of you that are like, maybe I'll just walk up and enter on site, there are late fees for all of these events. So better to just save your money, enter at entrytool.com today and plan on being there.
Well, and then
So
not to mention to
that
give
is
yourself, not to mention to give yourself the benefit of when they do these ropings, first to enter, last to rope. I mean, if you walk up and enter because you procrastinated, then you got one of the first runs on them. So it's to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't be tardy. In other words, don't be late.
Don't be late.
Come on.
Be late entering, don't be late at the barrier.
That's right. There's the only thing worse than late entering is being late at the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So then the next upcoming Nominate When You're In events is this World Series of Breakaway, Goat Tying, and Barrel Racing. This event is October 8th through the 11th in Decatur as well. And entries are open at entrytool.com for all of these events that have the WCRA logo next to them. So the last chance qualifier for the Open Ladies Breakaway. This is the When You're In, the fast track qualification. It includes your WCRA nomination. And then up here on October 9th, you have that Open Ladies Breakaway finale, 2 and a short, 10,000 guaranteed, pretty amazing. Another When You're In will be given there. And then on the 9th as well, you'll see here that ladies team roping, the Open. So, keep going down. The barrel racing will happen that evening. So lot to be won at this event, and definitely, those last chance fast track qualifications into the pool to just compete against those 16 and get into the main event through that fast track option.
Absolutely. And I just want to stress again, if you have not entered the Oklahoma's Richest, get your name down, because these entries close September 30th. And as Sammy Joe mentioned, if you don't get entered before then, I believe Chris, if he's not full, he will take walk-up entries, but you're going to have late fees. And so all of this is in here just to know. The Nominate When You're In, NWYI, that's synonymous or the same as a fast track spot. So we're adopting fast track as probably our new language as it pertains to that. Would you concur, Bobby and Sammy Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. So just know, if you hear us still say When You're In or Nominate When You're In, it's the same as fast track, specifically for segment W20 and these lady events. So here's that Challenger Roping, the Breakaway Roping at Chris Neal's event, Oklahoma's Richest. And so again, if you have any questions about that, go to entrytool.com and just fumble your way through it. It's really intuitive. It's really straightforward. So
and JD, go ahead, Bobby.
Sam and Joe, you didn't mention the NBHA in Waco this week.
Yeah, you read my mind. I was going to just now call it out. Unfortunately, I don't have the flyer for it right in front of me, but definitely for this weekend, NBHA has their races in Waco, Texas, September 25th through the 27th. And so be sure to nominate those events as well, because, in the barrel racing, that is a fast track qualifier.
Right. So there's multiple fast track spots available there, if I'm not mistaken. And then actually my wife, Kate Mote, she's going to be there on site with a table set up near the entry office and there to answer any of these questions or help talk you through or walk you through the process. So look for her. She may even have a discount nomination code.
She very well may, right? There's the NBHA.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Good job, JD.
Hey, Draw McGraw over here. So this event here, you do not enter on entrytool.com, but you NBHA ladies, you know how to play in that game. So
hey, JD, Nancy Chris is asking what the format is for those leaderboard entries. And I do have my screen shared for the barrel racing format if we want to address Nancy's questions again. So just to refresh for everybody on what the format is in the barrel racing, this fast track that we're talking about, these those that are going to these nominate when you're in events, they will compete first in the fast track pool and make one run. The top 4 fastest times will get into that main event. And then as of now, October 18th, number 1 through 4 from the leaderboard will go directly into the main event as well. And then Nancy, to your question, those leaderboard athletes, which is 5 through 64, and then any non-winners from this fast track that are outside of the top 64 will make 2 runs. So everybody from the leaderboard competes against each other, makes their 2 runs, and the top 18 fastest times overall from 2 rounds, not the aggregate, advance to this Elite 18 round. Those 18 athletes can make 1 run. It's a clean slate, and the top 6 fastest times get into the main event. Then go ahead.
Just to further clarify for Nancy or anybody else that's listening. So in the barrel racing, we purposely made it this way, that the top 18 fastest times, and so I know they do this at the fraternities a lot. So if you lay down a really good run on your first one and you want to save your horse in round 2 and you're confident that your time is going to make it on the progressive round, you don't have to run the second one. And or if you don't do well the first time, you tip a barrel, your horse slips, whatever happens, you're not out of it as it would be if it was an average, because again, if you can be in those top 18 fastest times. And so just to clarify, because I think she's trying to figure out how many times she's going to run her horse.
Right.
And so potentially 2 times in the leaderboard pool, 1 time in the progressive. And then once you get into the main event, it's based on advancement, 24, 12, and 6. We've purposely tried to spread these runs out, starting from Sunday night through the week, to try to give those barrel horses as much time in between as possible. And also important to mention, as we do with all the WCRA events, is we'll be dragging every 5 and hand raking after every run. So, it's a priority for us that ground is as good as possible. And we try to take care of these barrel horses because we understand how much work it is you all put into them to get them to that point and then keep them good.
And if I may, Sammy Joe, anybody who's been in the rodeo business for very long typically doesn't hear the leader of an organization say how important it is to take care of you ladies, take care of your horses, and understand, because he actually has 2 women that live in his house that run barrels, and he understands vet bills and keeping these suckers sound and running and turning. And it truly is important. Bobby thinks about the athlete. I've heard him say it multiple times. The tie needs to go to the runner. Tie needs to go to the athlete. Anytime that there's a questionable call, he wants the athlete to get the benefit of the doubt. And quite frankly, I don't know that we toot your horn loudly enough, Bobby. And I don't know that people really slow down long enough and think about they're out there trying to make a living, or they're trying to enjoy the sport that they love on the weekends around their life and their business or their job. And we really do, you really do. And Gary, everybody in the organization, we spend probably more time. I almost said too much, and that's not an accurate statement. We spend a lot of time talking about what's going to be best for the athlete. And so thank you on behalf of a former athlete, an old washed up guy, that I never ran barrels, but it's a big deal. And I just wanted to address it.
Well, I appreciate that. But I mean, so if people haven't noticed yet, like, while we want to sell tickets and appeal to fans, our customer, our first priority is the athlete. And so that's a little different than, and this isn't critical to a rodeo committee or organization. They have a lot of different people to consider. And and so do we, but we're nothing if our athletes aren't well taken care of and have an opportunity to compete. And so, barrel racing, since we're talking about it, is so competitive. You're talking about hundreds of seconds, and so, I've set barrels at the high school rodeo when my daughter runs, and they drag every 3. Well, by the third run on the ground, there's just big, huge ruts, and I can hardly walk across there to pick the barrel up and roll it out of the way. And I'm thinking to myself, why? We have the people. We can factor in enough time to rake after everyone is the least we could do to try to make it as even and fair as possible, because you hate to get that far and have luck of the draw be something that takes you out of a chance to advance or win. And so, that's what's behind, the things that we do like that. The same thing we do when we try to set the cattle and the herds. And that's the idea behind pools is, again, leveling the playing field. And then the new thing that we've implemented this year is the Challenger pool. And we've talked about it in past Facebook Lives, but just to basically, and you can find the information on our website, but just basically, if you're not a pro, and we have money won parameters that determine whether you're a pro or what we would call a challenger, basically not a pro. It's not an indication to how good you are or aren't, but it's just basically saying you haven't won that much money in the last year or the last 3 years. Then what we're saying is to qualify into the progressive round, we even have what's called challenger pools, which allow you to compete against people who are in the same, situation as you as far as how much money they've won in the past 3 years. And so all that's important. And so, selfishly, I'll say that my daughter, who's 17 years old, is on her way up, and she fits as a challenger in the barrel racing and the team roping and the breakaway roping. And so I'm excited for the opportunity that it gives her when she gets to go make a couple, round 1, round 2, and average type runs, and not have to beat the JJ Hamptons and the Michelle Darlings of the game until she gets into that, main event. And so giving people those other options to advance and to compete and win money. And let's face it, the first time you get to go and compete on that stage, I don't know about you all, but I get butterflies. And so once I've got to make a couple runs and go compete, especially win some money, then you're better off. You've got some confidence, you've got some momentum, you've got the jitters out of the way when it really matters, when the competition gets even tougher. And so, it's so hard on these Facebook Lives to get all of the information out to the people and explain it very well. We have a lot on our website. It's all new. It takes some time, but I promise you it's worth the time, because JD bragged on me. I'll brag on our team. We've got 15 or 16 people on our team who are all on this team because they want to be. Most all of them came to us. We didn't search out to find them, and they all have a heart to make it better for rodeo. And so the slogan "All for Rodeo" means something to us. And so we're about trying to make it better for women's rodeo in this case, but all of rodeo. And it really is a factor that we take into consideration with every decision that we make, ahead of sponsorship, ahead of selling tickets, ahead of all of those things, is making the competition and the formats in a way that allows a lot of people a chance to come compete, earn money, to try to not just simply top load payouts, but make it to where a lot of people have a chance to win checks, which is ultimately what needs to happen to make rodeo sustainable. I made a career in it, and I was fortunate to do it as long as I did, but it could be better. I'm thankful for everybody who's came before me and made it what it's been. And I'm thankful for the opportunities that rodeo has given me to this point. But it's also, I didn't get where I got in rodeo by accepting the status quo, and nobody on our team does in the WCRA either. And so occasionally we'll try something and it doesn't work the way that we had it drawn out on the whiteboard, and so we change it. But if we just went forward with the same old tired formats and ways of doing things that rodeo has done for 100 years, which are proven, and there is a blueprint, we wouldn't be really doing anything any different. And so, you know, I kind of went off on a rabbit trail, which I'm known to do, but, you know, I just want people to understand this opportunity, you know, people will drive farther, spend more money, and put out more effort to win less money the same week anywhere else. And never before in women's rodeo has there been an opportunity like this, and this is year one. So I would encourage anybody, as long as you're going to go down the road, practice, put in the effort, pay your fees somewhere, you're nuts not to try this. I mean, take my word for it, because I mean, you say $750 is a lot of money for entry fees. We're guaranteeing $750,000, and you can burn up $750 just going to a couple amateur rodeos around the house on one weekend, and I'll have a chance to rub two nickels together when you're done. And so it's a great opportunity. There are a couple other barrel racing nominate, win, and you're in opportunities coming up next week, Friday night and Saturday night at Stockyards in Fort Worth, and also the Tejas Rodeo. The winner of the barrel racing in those rodeos who are nominated through the VRQ can earn not only the points that they would earn, but also the nominate, win, and you're in spots. And so lots of chances in the barrel racing, lots of chances in every discipline. I'd encourage everybody, if you're not on the boards yet, to take a long, hard look at it. And if you don't want to be, you'd have to ask yourself, why not?
Absolutely. Agreed.
Well, how do we want to wrap this bad boy up?
Adios.
That fuzzy-headed steer behind me, that Scottish Highlander, back in the younger day, I'd want to go get on that thing and try to throw it down. But
I would just say stay tuned. You know, each week we're going to keep up with these Facebook Lives until the event, and I'm going to dive more and more deeper into how you get there, and, you know, the timelines you have to enter, the timelines you have to nominate. And so, yeah, don't miss out on these Facebook Lives. A lot of great information being shared.
Thank you, Nancy. Thanks, Marcus. Thanks, everybody who commented, Michelle. Everybody, share this with your friends. Share it. If you're watching the replay, please share it. Get the information out there. Those tentative dates that we shared with you, our heart in getting those out there is because there's some other big women's events that are happening in and around that time. And we wanted to just get that schedule out there, and we want to work with people. But we're laying down the tracks. I might be speaking out of turn here a little bit, but we feel like this is the biggest women's event in rodeo ever. And so come play, come be at AT&T Stadium, compete where the Cowboys compete, be with Pbr World Finals on the big stage on CBS Sports Network. And you're welcome, Barbara. Thank you. And yeah, thanks for joining us. So we'll see you next week. And if you have any questions, reach out to support. I've flashed that up a few times. I'll throw it up there one more time. Sammy Jo, her team has been super busy answering support phone calls and emails, and we appreciate you all. We appreciate your time. Share, like, comment, and thanks.
See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.